Hey, what's up, everyone? Today I'm going to try to recreate the bass line from Freak by GENESI and Meduza. This just came out on Solomon's label Dynamic. Sounds a little bit like this.
Up in the club, better watch your man. Feel so good, see, come right back. You know I'm a freak and you handle that. You know I'm a freak and you handle that.
And this is my version. All right, so first things first, we're going to load up Serum. And just so you know, the preset for this is going to be on my Patreon. I'm going to post a link below in the description so you guys can go and access that. I'm also going to put on some headphones so that there's no weird mic feedback. All right, shut that off. All right, so for this one, we're going to use Serum. And you're going to load up a saw wavetable here. Any saw works. For this one, we use DS saw and triangle. But we're not going to go in the triangle. We're just going to keep it saw-like. All right, so octave -2, but you don't have to. You can leave it at 0 and just put down the notes on MIDI. We're going to put a touch of noise, not too much, just the basic noise a little bit. Leave it as that. Envelope 1, we're going to use these settings here as shown. And envelope 1 is also going to control the filter cutoff, MG load 24. A little bit of drive, a little bit of fat, and the cutoff is controlling A, but not the noise. And then we got the effects with a little bit of a distortion, max drive, but only 14% mix with a little bit of an EQ curve. This is going to be the asymmetrical distortion. And so far we got, I'm just going to turn off the processing here just so you guys can hear the raw signal. It goes like this. All right, next, we got a pitch bend. We're going to put this up to 4 max because it's much easier to control that after that. And we're going to automate the pitch bend. You can also do portamento, but I feel like this has way more control. If you leave the portamento on, this thing here on always, then when the last notes go up again, it's going to create a upward bend motion. And his bass line does not have that. It's just a downward pitch bend. So we're gonna go max this out, this little pitch bend automation here, and it's not a straight line, but more of a logarithmic. Whoa, what's going on? Yeah, so we got a logarithmic curve here. It's not a straight line, and just place it wherever you think feels nice. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, I added a little bit of OTT here just so there's a bit of gluing. Put the highs down a little bit and the bass up, and it's only at 7% here, but I feel like it glues the sound a bit together. Definitely boosts the bass up a little bit. For the EQ curve here, I just moved these settings and put them so that the tone of the bass sounds like their track, although if you do this in your track, it's going to sound different. So the EQ curve here is only specific to this song. Now, the main thing here is the Saturn II saturated by Fab filter, because we're doing a multi-band saturation here. The low end is barely saturated. We could put this at 0. It's not going to change anything. So is the low mids here, but between 200 hertz and 1700 hertz, we got a saturation, gentle saturation at max. We're boosting it up by 7 dB, but we're also bringing down the wetness to 17%. So we're mixing the wet signal and the dry signal, and it's not 100%, and it's gonna really make the mids crunchy. And now, lastly, we're gonna add a touch of expansion here. It's not compressed, but it's expand, and this is gonna just boost up those low mids, and then you can adjust that however your track is mixed. And then at the end, we get a little sidechain saturation, and we got this. All right, so one thing I did here is I separated the sub from my main basically just to have more control, because when you use the Serum sub thingy here, the sub oscillator, there's not a lot of control over it. You can do direct out or not, but it's usually not enough. So I just loaded up a subby sound here. I put a little low pass filter on it and called it a day. And it's just doing the same notes as my saw bass here. And one thing to note as well is the first note is completely deleted, and that's where the kick usually hits. So we don't need that sub to hit there because the kick is already hitting there. And this way, you don't need kickstart or major sidechain compression because there's nothing to compress. I mean, it's still going to compress for the tail end of the kick, but this way, yeah, the compressor is just not going to work as hard to duck that bass. All right, so we got that. And then later we have a little harmony because in his track he had a little second layer here. That sounds like a seventh. So I just loaded up like a random preset that I thought sounded similar to that. And the main thing here is that you drag this down or up, depending. It's either up 7 or -5. And then you get that upper harmony.
Up in the club, better wash your man. Feel so good, so you come right back. You know I'm a freak, can you handle that? You know I'm a freak, can you handle that?